Why
All
does this
right,
load?
everyone. Welcome to the show tonight. We are live. We got a great guest joining us tonight. We got JR Wisdom. He specializes in credit repair, and he also just put out a book about credit repair as well. And he's got a YouTube channel, and also he's got a couple ebooks out on Amazon. I believe one of them is about weight loss.
Mm-hmm.
So he is pretty versatile in that regard. So
Mm-hmm.
I'll pass it off to JR real quick, and if you could just give a brief intro about yourself to the viewers, please.
Oh, most definitely. Hey, shout out to the network for having me, man. I appreciate it. Appreciate you reaching out and allowing me to use your platform. Just real quick, I mean, if you guys don't know about me, like he said, I'm JR Wisdom. I'm another fellow YouTuber. I have my channel here on YouTube where I talk about a variety of different topics, mostly relationships, self improvement, self development, and as he mentioned, credit as well. I just pretty much I haven't been posted as much as I used to, but I pretty much just post and put things out and try to help people out as much as I can. Like you said, as my business of mine, a personal business of mine that I actually do is actually credit repair and helping people get qualified. And I'm actually a soon to be real estate agent here within the next month or so. So that's pretty much me in a nutshell.
Awesome, awesome, cool. So yeah, starting off. So yeah, you got your credit repair business off the ground now. So can
Right,
you take the listeners? Can you take them back to like to the very beginning before you even formed your business?
right.
So like what events that transpired in your life?
Mm,
What motivated you to actually start a credit repair business?
mm.
Like can you just kind of take us through what went down to have you
Yeah,
start that?
sure. That is an excellent question, a very good question. And I'm glad you asked it because a lot of people just jump into it just as a form of basically creating income by working. What do you call it? Those MLM companies? Is that what they're
Uh,
called? Multi-level marketing?
yeah, ML, yeah.
Yeah. So a lot of people work for these MLM companies, which are basically recruiters. That wasn't the case for me. I've never set out to work for anyone as far as that goes. What basically happened with me was a divorce in a
Okay.
nutshell. And that's what happened because I've had, you know, unbeknownst, well, not unbeknownst, but basically, I never really took credit seriously. I've always had great credit because I've always understood that my parents and my relatives had poor credit. So I always made sure I took care of my credit and but I never really tracked it or anything like that or knew what was going on. But I knew I always had a high credit score because I was always able to get these great credit cards and stuff like that. So the catalyst, if you will, that brought me to credit repair was me going through a divorce and me being in a tight spot as far as within that divorce, me being separated and having to take care of my three boys, my three children by myself. And it basically stretched me out. It stretched me thin as far as my wallet goes. And I had to depend on my credit cards to not only help take care of myself, because the job I had at the time wasn't making that much, to help me take care of me and my kids, pay the bills, and pay for a divorce at the same time. So I was doing all these things. So in the midst of doing that, I was unable to pay on credit cards, and my score basically went to shit. Pardon my French. I don't know. It was
Oh, no.
basically, yeah,
You're good.
all right. The score basically went in the dumps, man. So I had to kind of like, and I was getting judgments, for credit cards I wasn't able to pay. Like credit cards were being charged off, and I was just like, at this point, I was like, okay, I already got a car, I already got my house, so I really don't care at this point. So I was at a dead end job, and I was just thinking of ideas. You know how we all do. How can I make more money? How can I? What's a side business? What's another additional stream of income I can come up with? And it just clicked on me one day because I think I saw a friend of mine post something up, and it clicked on me one day, and I'm just like, oh, I need to let me try and repair my credit. So I was gonna hire somebody, and I said, you know what? I could probably do this myself. So I basically, as every other stand-up guy should do, and I encourage everyone to do, is basically pick up a book and read. Educate yourself, teach yourself, get on YouTube, buy books, and teach yourself a trade or a skill, whatever it is you want to call it, that you're able to make money off of. So as I was fixing my own, I was like, I know there's plenty of people in the United States who have jacked up credit. So I said I can make money off of this. So I basically immersed myself in everything as far as credit and what's the quickest way to get somebody's credit score up? What's the quickest way? What do people want? People want a car and a house. That's basically what people want, is a car and a house and maybe a credit card. So I put it upon myself to learn this stuff in the most effective way to do it. And that's basically what happened. I'm still to this day, I'm still working on that craft and at affordable, in my opinion, because I guess it's subjective as far as what an affordable price is. But when I look at what other companies are doing, mainstream companies, as far as this credit repair stuff, I, I feel like it's competitive as far as what I offer, because I don't stretch it out for a year or 2 years like a lot of other companies do. I charge a one-time fee and we get it done and we get the scores up. And I give personal advice to people along with that. You actually speaking to a live person who actually does this instead of a lot of these other companies. So to make a long story even longer, sorry.
Oh, yeah, no, you're good. It's all
Yeah,
you.
that's basically how I came to repairing credit and fixing credit and stuff like that. That's how I came into it. And unfortunately, a lot of things in our lives it happens like that, based upon tragedy and events where either you just gonna sink or swim. So
Okay, I got you. I got you. Yeah, so yeah, great story. Like you took like a not so great event. Of course, divorce is
not at all.
not a celebration by any means at all. But I mean, that's just life. Like things like that are gonna happen. Like
Hmm.
so, out of something negative, you got something positive out of that, and
Right,
now I don't know how far removed you are from divorce, but I mean, yeah, now you got a successful business
right.
out of it. So, and I like how you talked about too, how, I mean, you had, I guess, a regular 9 to 5 or just typical full-time job.
I still
And,
have a 9 to 5, to be
oh, you
honest
did?
with you.
Oh,
Yeah,
okay, I
I
got you.
still, I'm working. I mean, I'm not, and I don't want to, this is a segue. I want you to remember whatever it was you were saying, you were going to say, not to cut you off, but I still have a 9 to 5, and that's my goal, is to be completely to the point where I don't have to punch a clock. That's
Oh,
my goal right now. And
oh,
I hope to have that done by this summer, but go ahead. I'm sorry.
no, you're good, you're good. So, I like how you mentioned, you were at another job before, and you were just thinking of ways, like a side hustle
Right,
or side income. I do that too a lot at work too, to be honest. But
right,
that's cool how, a lot of people, let's say if people are miserable at their 9 to 5, they may try and look for like a get rich quick scheme or
right.
some like a microwave scheme, like a
MLM.
microwave scheme side hustle. But I like how you did it like the old school way. You just read a bunch of books, YouTube, like you put in the time and the effort
Exactly,
to actually learn the craft for real. You didn't just look for a like an easy instant
exactly.
way to do it. So yeah, that was cool. So yeah, now we can segue, shift gears now. So now that you kind of laid the foundation of how you got into the game, so now that you're currently in it, I mean, you kind of touched on it before about how people, they can, like, you provide them personalized service. So
Right.
would you say the service you provide, is it like uncommon? So is that what like really makes you stick out and differentiate yourself from the typical credit repair service provider?
I believe so. Wholeheartedly, 100%. I believe because that's most of the feedback I get from people is, the turnaround time, how quickly I do it, and that I'm personable and I answer the questions that they have because most credit repair companies, and it's no, and this isn't a shot to anything that you're saying. And I don't like to refer to myself as a credit repair person, but I do. That's what I do for all intents and purposes. That's the major term. Um, Basically, they have direct access to me. Excuse me. They have direct access to me. Any questions that they have in reference to that, because other credit repair companies, if you're trying to figure out, okay, what do I need to do? How do I get it to this point? How do I get a higher credit score? Instead of, okay, we'll trying to remove these negatives. We'll try and do this. We'll try and do that. But there's no direction. And I always believe the way money, becoming wealthy, leveraging credit and things like that. What good is money without guidance? What good is
Yeah.
credit without guidance? Because you can give people money and they can piss it away, or you can give people credit and they'll piss it away. So it's like there's the direction has to be there. Well, what do I do now that I have this credit? How do I get it higher? What do you suggest I do? What do you think I can do? So there's some kind of like financial, advice in there as well, or how to build it, which is why not to to plug it, but it's why I wrote the book basically on how this is how you build credit. This is the quickest way to build credit if you don't have any, because I think many of my clients think just because they have stuff deleted that they're going to have a high score. That's not how it works, because your credit is basically your reputation at the end of the day. If you don't have a a past, a reputation on your file, like if that's just like somebody walking to you on the street and saying, "Hey, can I borrow $100?" You don't know them, or if you do know them and you know that they're known for not paying anyone, why would you loan them $100? It's
Yeah,
the
yeah.
same thing with credit. Credit is the same way. They're going to look at your credit file and say, okay, this person is known for not paying back their debt. So why would I loan them money? I'm not going to get my money back. Just last night, I had a client, and I'm just going to end on this right here. She just had a repossession on a mobile home about 2 months ago. So she
Okay.
thought that she would be able to buy another one this month. And I had already told her that it's not going to happen,
Hmm.
but she still thought, well, they denied me. Of course they denied you. I told you they were going to deny you. But why would I loan you money, or why would I sign off on this loan when I know you just had this one repossessed? I'd be a fool. But I think many of us, we tend to live in a fantasy world. We don't think about things like that. But anyway, I digress.
Okay, yeah. Yes, that's a good point. Uh, yeah, when you say, when you're talking about, like what you just said, you were speaking on the perspective of the people loaning out the money, and
Right.
like, do you feel like people that come to you, do you feel like at first, like before you educate them, that they're only thinking about how much they can get? They're not thinking about, like you said, their reputation. They're not thinking about how do I look
Right.
on paper if someone I don't know, they're just looking at my history, and then
Mm-hmm.
like they don't realize that their history is like you said, it's a pattern of behavior.
Right.
So they're not like people that come to you, they may not be putting themselves in position of someone that's gonna loan out the money to them. They're only thinking about it, how much I can. It's all about them. It's not about the best interests of the people loaning out money.
Right. I think that there's a demographic, obviously, and it's obvious without me saying there's a demographic in this country who has no idea about credit. They are completely oblivious to credit and how it works and the functioning of it and how to leverage it. And I think it's become fashionable as far as getting it. And once you get it, you destroy it because you don't understand it. It's just like a baby. If you don't know how to take care of a baby, you're not going to be able to, you know, provide all the needs of that baby and, make it grow, or a garden. If you're not a gardener, cultivating that garden to produce crops, you're just setting it up for destruction. So I think education, it's the desire to want to know instead of just thinking, I'll have somebody else take care of this for me, and I have no desire on sustaining it. And that's it. And just to be honest with you, that frustrates me as a quote unquote teacher or someone who tries to kind of explain the game to you, because the there's not a there's not a want to know. It's just, I'm paying you this, just take care of it. I don't care about knowing anything after this. I don't care about how to maintain it or what I need to do from here on out. So that the blemish, the black eye on the credit report, things like that is just like, I'm not looking at it like that. Credit is credit. I don't care how it looks. I'm not understanding. I'm not looking at it from a street perspective, which is, I try to break it down to the relatable terms, or the least common denominator or whatever, where you can understand in layman's terms. If this is your family member and you were coming, or they were coming to you trying to get a loan, how would you handle it? And I try to make people see it from a different lens. But it's sometimes it's just difficult, but hey, it's just like, that's the way it is. That's from my experience, that's what it's been.
Oh, okay, I got you. Well, I mean, that's cool though that that you're like giving like real, like tangible, practical
Right.
advice to people. You're not just like giving like script advice that you might
Right.
see online at like a chain type business.
Absolutely.
That's cool. That's cool. So, so you spoke on, some clients that I guess, for lack of a better term, they can frustrate you
Right.
sometimes. So, can you speak on, have you had well, not, I'll rephrase it. Have you had a lot of success stories with your
I have
clients
a
as well?
lot of success stories, but the success stories are those who want it, those who follow instructions.
Oh,
Those are the success stories. Those who follow instructions, those who. Here's my thing. When you ask for advice or you ask for help, I think it's in your best interest if you take it, that you take it. Many people will ask for advice, but they won't take the advice. They'll do their own thing and then wonder why they're in the same position. And I encounter that so often. The people who really want to change, it comes. I'm just saying this other than, it's consistency with working on it. Credit is not just like a one-time thing and it's just a cure-all. It's a building process. I've had people, well, several people buy houses, buy cars, going from having nothing, practically no credit score, to qualifying for a home within 2 or 3 months. I have there's a lot of success stories from that, and I tend to post it, a lot of my results from clients as often as I can. Not every client sends me their results. I don't always hear feedback, but when I do hear feedback from clients, I'll post it. Pictures of their cars, pictures of their houses, so on and so forth. So I do have success stories in that uh in that effect.
Oh, that's cool. That's cool. So it seems like after you explain your success stories and then you explain before as the more challenging cases that at the end of the day, like it seems like it's all about having the right attitude, having discipline, and like you said, following directions.
Hmm.
It's not about, I guess, about who has more money or who has less money.
Right,
It's not even about money. It's like the core of it is, behavior at the end of the
right,
day. That's what it seems like. Is that, would you say that's correct?
totally,
Oh,
totally. It's behavior, and whether it's behavior that's been learned or behavior that you perceive as the way things should be, I mean, who knows? But that's one of the hardest things, because I take it seriously. I just don't take people's money and just like, and that I think that's one of my shortcomings is that I'm just like, you just don't know. And I think to myself with some clients, I'm like, you just don't know. If you just followed the instructions and you did this, you'd be in such a better position. You have like a golden ticket. I've given you the golden ticket to get to that point, and it's just that you just like, eh, I'd rather invest my time in something else. This is not that serious. But yeah, I'm just talking from the building aspect. That's just from the building aspect, not me deleting negative things off of their report. I'm just talking about as far as them asking me the best way or how can they get their credit score the highest. And I'm just like, if you just follow these steps, this is all you got to do. So yeah, behavior
okay.
definitely.
Okay, that's cool. So, how long have you been in this business for now?
I've been doing it since 2016. I think late
Um,
2015 actually, but yeah, definitely 2016. So that's about 3 years, coming up on 3 years, if it hasn't
uh,
already been 3 years.
okay, that's cool. That's cool. So, it's like, where do you see this industry like trending, like in the future? Do you feel like there's gonna be in the future, maybe let's say the next 5, 10 years, is there gonna be a higher demand for people like yourself with credit repair, credit building, or do you feel like people are being more educated and there's gonna be less of a demand for the type of services you provide?
I think that people, same thing with lawyers, people tend to want to outsource services instead of doing it themselves. Even I do it. You do it every day with certain things. I do it.
Hmm.
Some people would rather, and the wealthier you become, the more you outsource because
Yeah.
your time is more valuable than anything. Time is the most valuable thing on this earth, bar none. So I think that, and in my experience with working with clients, they just that's what business is: outsourcing. Other outsourcing services in exchange for money. So I think people who just don't want to spend the time to do it, they'd rather pay someone to do it for them. That's just how business functions. That's how people are employed. It's not just me; it's other people as well. You just rather pay somebody than deal with it. I'd rather pay this person and let them take care of it for me. You know, like cutting grass. Some people they can get out there and mow the lawn. But,
Yeah.
would you rather mow your lawn or would you rather pay somebody to mow your lawn? Some people would rather pay someone. So I think As far as more people doing this, um, I mean, there's a possibility, but I think it's about the quality of work that you do. As far as credit goes, I don't think credit's going anywhere because credit's always been around. Um, we have, as you know, the United States is based upon the U.S. dollar, which is basically a fiat currency at the end of the day. So we function off credit, and that's just the way it is. It's just so much erroneous stuff going on within credit and so much fraud and so many wrong things that are being reported on people's credit reports. Some people never look at their credit report. Some people are like, I've never looked at my credit report in my life. I don't even know what's on there.
Mm-hmm.
So, yeah, to answer your question, but these MLM companies, these people who are involved in it, they're not repairing anyone's credit. They're just bona fide recruiters, and I don't, it sounds attractive because you have to pay less money, but at the end of the day, you're paying more money in the long run. So imagine whatever the fees they're charging, 50, 60, 70, $80. Imagine $80 times 12 or $80 times 24,
Mm-hmm.
and then you just, but you don't think it's that much because it's just a little bit of money that's being taken out of your account. So yeah, that's my thoughts on that.
Oh, okay, that's cool. That's cool. So yeah, man, I know you're in the credit repair business. I'm not trying to take away potential customers from you or anything, but well, so I'm just gonna
Go
ask
ahead.
a quick question. So, like, what would you give the listeners to like, what would you tell them to avoid even having to consider, you know, hiring someone to fix their credit in the first place? Like, what would you tell someone, I don't know, maybe like a high schooler, 18-year-old, whatever, just starting out as an adult? Like, what would you tell them? Like, how can they protect their credit in the first place so that they don't even have to worry about having to fix it themselves or having to hire someone to fix it?
Very good question. It's not about taking any bit because I've actually done a video on how to repair credit yourself.
Oh, okay.
So yeah, it's no big deal. As a youngster, someone who's just starting out, or even an adult, the thing that I would say to a younger person or someone just starting out is basically just don't take out frivolous debt for stuff that you don't really need. And just don't, and you don't want to take it serious. You should always take out any business endeavor that you do, including credit. You should always take it serious and just don't think, well, I'm not going to pay this, because you could be setting yourself up, even if you're a full grown adult in your early 30s, mid 30s, 40s. Just don't, if you got something, pay it off. You can laugh and think, well, I'm not going to pay them back, or I'll just pay for a credit repair. Credit repair doesn't always get everything off. Some things you can't get off. I mean, you can try, but some things just don't come off sometimes, and that's just how it is. And sometimes you might have to wait those 7 years to get some things off. So I say just be responsible. If you just treat it like you borrowed money from one of your family members or a friend, pay them back. If you can't afford it, you shouldn't be buying it. A lot of times, a lot of these things, there are emergencies and things like that. Credit should be used, in my opinion, credit should be used for emergencies. And like it's always said, credit should be used to leverage debt as far as making money. You should use your credit to make money, or make it work for you, you know? So those are my thoughts on it. Identify, I encourage everyone to, download, even if it's something like Credit Karma, download that app, even though the score is not accurate. So at least you got access to two bureaus and what they're showing. So you know what's appearing on your credit report. Go through your credit report, see what negative things you might have on there. If maybe you have some incorrect information or somebody's reporting some negative stuff on you. But most definitely, get that taken care of. Write the bureaus, contact the bureaus, explain to them that this isn't yours, and it needs to be removed. So you need to catch that early on. Most people are reactive instead of proactive. They'll wait until they need something and they want it done here and now. They want it done now instead of being proactive for when that day does come, you're already set. So, and that's a lot of times that's human nature with a lot of us. So,
Oh, okay,
but
that's
yeah,
cool. Awesome. Great advice. Great advice. So, kind of shift gears now to kind of wind down. So, I mean, we talked about credit a lot for about the past 30, 40 minutes. So,
right.
can you uh, share with the listeners? I mean, you touched on it a little bit in the very beginning, but about, I guess, in your YouTube channel. Can you tell the people? Can you like go more in depth on the topics you specialize on your YouTube channel?
Of course. Yeah. um, I guess I'm unlike a lot. I guess some YouTubers are like this, but I believe in I don't do too much current events because I'm among the same philosophy as O'Shea. I think that's kind of like too easy, kind of cheating. I mean, if I want to give my perspective on a certain thing that I find close, then I'll do it. But I'm just not going to spend my channel just reporting the news. And maybe that's probably why my channel isn't as successful as many others because I don't report the news. I uh, do topics based upon personal experience or something that directly affects me. And mostly that's a lot of my topics are on relationships or my thoughts on relationships in the media or other people's relationships, self improvement. Um, because I'm not going to be one of these. I give dating advice based off my perspective and what's worked for me, what I've come to learn about women, what I've come to learn about me as a man, and how to better yourself or self improvement as far as being a man. Just tips and things like that. I used to speak a lot on religion, a lot of my videos, and you can probably still find a lot of those in reference to religion and theology and my thought process on those things. Um, and I've done a lot of videos in reference to wayward pastors who do these outrageous things as pastors, and just those are my topics. That's basically what you're gonna get on my channel, about relationships and religion. You're not gonna get so much on current events, but you know, human behavior. I'm a big fan of psychology and human behavior. That's one of my main themes of my channel. So if you're interested in things like that, then I think my channel will be for you. So
Awesome, cool, cool. So everyone, if you're watching now or you're gonna watch the restream later, if you guys wanna go ahead and subscribe to JR's channel, you just gotta type in JR Wisdom, and then
right.
the avatar you guys see on your screen, you'll see it on his channel. Just go ahead, subscribe, hit the bell. Uh,
Mm-hmm.
cool. So awesome. So I guess for our last topic for tonight, I want to ask you about your. You have well, before you put out the credit repair book, you had two ebooks on Amazon.
Right.
And one of them I downloaded was the weight loss book, which
Right.
is very informative. I really enjoyed that book.
Oh, thank you.
You're welcome. So, without spoiling the book or giving too much away, can you give a brief summary of your weight loss ebook?
Oh, most definitely. Yeah. So basically, and I need to update that. I just been lazy. Sorry, folks. I've been lazy because there's a lot more I want to add to that. But basically, it's just in a nutshell, it's just a simple, quick read on how to achieve your ideal weight and without really exercising, and it's basically about diet, and it's not like anything. I don't say, hey, you need to stay away from your cookies and muffins and your Snicker bars and stuff like that, because that's not what it's about. It's basically just a passive way of losing weight as long as you follow the instructions. Exercising, it expedites the process. But if you want to lose weight in a very, you know, calm, you know, l- you know, less stressful manner, then basically that this book tells you how to do it, and it tells you how to do it effectively. In my opinion, I've done several tests on my own personal body. Done a lot of experimenting with myself with different diets and exercise and things like that. And like I said, this is it. And I've had, feedback on it as far as it working for even something as simple as this. Feedback as far as it working for a lot of people. So, and I've got videos on YouTube as well about, weight loss and things like that. So you guys should check it out. But yeah, that, and I think you mentioned my other book. I know you didn't ask me about that, but that is it's autobiographical book. It's called Puppeteering with Heartstrings. And that basically covers a year of my life, when I returned back from Afghanistan. And it's about kind of like my divorce and the events that led up to it, but it covers a year of my life in that book. So, yeah.
Okay, awesome. So, yeah, all the listeners out there, you guys. So, all three of your books, they're all on Amazon currently. Is that correct?
Right. They're an ebook. You can get the ebook or you can get the paperback. It's both available in both formats, ebook or paperback.
So if they go on Amazon, what do they have to type in if they wanna go to your books?
They can type in j.r.eady, EADY, or you can just click on, if you subscribe to my channel, you can just click on the link. There's a link in the description of any of my videos, or there's a link right on my channel. If you click on my channel, there's an icon at the top that says Amazon. It'll take you directly to my author profile.
Awesome, cool.
So,
And yeah, to all the listeners, when the live stream's over, I'm gonna edit the video titles and the bio, because I noticed I spelled credit wrong. I put JR Wisdom credier repair.
yeah,
I'm
man,
gonna
it's no
fix that.
problem.
I'm gonna
Yeah.
fix that for everyone. But so I'll wrap this up now. So what I ask most of my guests before we conclude the show is this is more career related for someone searching or trying to find themselves in terms of career.
Right.
So it's like, what advice would you give someone that they wanna, like follow in your footsteps, and they wanna also get into starting their own business and get into credit repair and building? Like, what general advice would you give someone that wanted to start out?
That's a very good question, man. I could probably talk and give you that answer for like days, but I'm gonna try to give it short and sweet,
Okay.
because I talk about this because I do a lot of. You probably seen me post my things about me doing like little mixers and seminars and workshops
Yeah, on
that I do
Instagram.
locally.
Yeah.
Because I like to talk a lot about the law of attraction, which I'm going to be putting out a book within the next 3 weeks called The Law of Attraction for the Pessimistic Mind.
Okay.
Um, and the reason why I'm doing that, and what goes along with his question, is that I think we get so stuck on things in life and we don't know where to go. Or some of us, everybody's not meant to be a business owner. Everybody's not meant to be an employee. Some of us, but whatever it is that you want to do, to get what you want in life, you have to know what you want. And as far as that, I'm a firm believer in the law of attraction. I'm a firm believer in uh, tenacity and aggression and chasing your goals and dreams and saying that whatever is going on in my life, this isn't enough for me. I need more. I need, well, up until the point where I'm content. I tell myself I have that you have to have that desire. If you don't have the desire, it's not going to happen for you. So you have to find out what it is that you're good at, or actually a skill, something that's profitable or marketable that everybody needs. And that's just something I, believe it or not, obviously, like I said before, I had no idea what I was going to do. I had no idea what I wanted to do, but I just kept saying, I have to come up with something. I have to. And it just hit me one day, because what is I think Corey Wayne says something like, when the student is ready to learn, the teacher will show up, or something like that.
Yeah.
Yeah. He says something like that. Now he gets that from somebody. Obviously, he didn't come up with that shit himself. but yeah. So that's how I feel. I think when you're ready, when you really want something, it's gonna come to you. There's no choice but for the universe or God Almighty, whatever you want to call it, to get out the way and provide what it is that you're searching for. So that's my thoughts. You just can't just half-ass and not follow instructions and think something's going to fall in your lap. You actually have to put in the work. So, that's my thoughts on that.
Okay.
You know.
Yeah, it's very, very practical, tangible advice for all the
Mm,
listeners out there, for sure. I think that's kind of the theme of this whole conversation was follow directions.
right.
I mean, it can be simple if you make it simple, or it can be hard if you want to make it hard.
Exactly.
Uh,
Exactly. Well said.
awesome.
Yeah.
But yeah, you guys, were almost at an hour now. I'll wrap the show up, but before I do that, I want to, of course, thank JR for joining us tonight,
No
taking
doubt.
time out of his busy schedule to join us. Much appreciated. I mean, not only listen, I mean, I learned a lot, listeners learned a lot, everyone that's going to watch this later, a lot of valuable information for sure. So, myself and on behalf of everyone else, we want to thank you for joining us tonight.
No problem, man. Thanks for having me on.
All right. So everyone, thank you again for tuning in, whether you're watching right now or later. And till next time, we'll see you guys. Peace.
Peace.